Please take your seats quickly, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Hi guys, welcome to OneMinuteTennis.com. Now, take the racket back early. That's one of the first things that I heard on a tennis court. But fundamentally, taking the racket back early is flawed. One of the last things that you want to do is to take the racket back early. I want to show you why this is, what effect it has on the strokes, and what you should do in replace of this, which will mean that you get more power, more control and penetration on your forehand stroke. As we begin the forehand stroke, then it's very important that we load and coil correctly. So I load some weight into my right foot and I coil from the waist backwards. See, my lower body hasn't turned, but my upper body has turned instead. And so now I have a separation between the upper and lower body. And then we turn back into the stroke and push up. And naturally then the power comes from the ground up, from the inside out, resulting in a very effortless and powerful stroke. But in tennis courts all around the world, you'll hear people saying, oh, I'm late, right? And then they'll try to take the racket back early. But surely if I focus on taking the racket back early, then the thing that's going to be the furthest behind me is the racket. See, this is taking the racket back early. And if I take the racket back early, then the racket has to be leading the stroke. It can't be that the body is pushing up and into the ball. It can't be that the leg is pushing up and into the ball, because if the racket is already back, then it's inert and it's just going to swing through, and now I'm playing entirely with my arm. Most of the people watching this video will be doing exactly that. So taking the racket back early is a disaster. But if that's not the case, then what do we do? Because being late is also a disaster, maybe a bigger one. The answer is, instead of taking the racket back early, think about taking the elbow back early. You see, here's the racket back early, and here is the elbow back early. I want to prepare the elbow as early as possible. So I'm in my split step position. I recognize that it's a forehand stroke. I split and the elbow is back. The racket has hardly moved at all. It's only moved from there to there. This means that when I drive into the ball, I don't think about the racket going back. The racket goes back. This is the simplest way of creating a racket lag. Don't think, and I'm going to repeat myself here, don't think about the racket going back. The racket goes back. So as I make the stroke here, racket back early and swing. And it feels slow and cumbersome, even as a shadow stroke. But now, with the elbow back early, and I swing, and suddenly the racket becomes alive. This is a dead racket, and this is a live racket. And everything feels different when I take the elbow back early. And how early should we take it back? Well, unless you're sprinting, which is rare in tennis, very rare in recreational tennis, then you should take it back as early as you possibly can. The difference between running and sprinting is that in sprinting, you use your arms to run. In that case, then the racket can't be back early. But if I'm moving to a ball over here, then I want to racket back, hunt the ball and hit. I don't want to be moving to the ball and then take the racket back. Once again, the split step and the elbow back are fundamentally connected. So I split, elbow back, hunt the ball and hit. When you take the elbow back early, then you have effortless power, good control, and as much topspin as you want to put on the ball. So don't take the racket back early, take the elbow back early, and you'll have a more powerful, easier, and more accurate and consistent stroke. If you like my ideas on tennis, check out the books on Amazon. The books are a truly unique learning and teaching experience, because we all learn in different ways, whether it's visually, whether it's by seeing the written word, we're all different. With the books, you have great illustrations making things very, very clear. We have very clear explanations with the science, biomechanics, and then simple instructions to the strokes. And also every chapter is linked to YouTube videos, so you can look at the illustrations, you can read the explanations, or you can see the demonstrations. Or for more personalized advice, join players in over 40 countries that I'm helping with one-to-one online coaching. It's a unique service with a blend of video analysis and then personalized one-to-one lessons. It's inexpensive and it really works. With the racket back early, I can play a slow, controlled, but precise stroke. It's okay, but it's never going to hit anybody off the court. But with the elbow back early, the whole stroke is more dynamic. And suddenly I have a live arm, a live racket, and effortless power. It's easier to hit topspin. It's easier to hit power. It's almost so easy to hit power, it's almost hard not to. And yet the control is still the same. So energize your forehand. Don't take the racket back early. It's fundamentally flawed. Take the elbow back early and you'll have more power, more control, and way less effort. Thanks for watching, and see you next time for more unique tennis lessons that really work.